Hello, hi. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for coming to the show this evening. My name is Branwen Davis. I'm a playwright, theatre maker, and currently a performance and theatre lecturer at Bangor University. And I was asked to come and try and keep this rowdy lot in charge, you know. I'm not going to be asking many questions. I'm hoping you're going to jump in and get involved. But first of all, I just want to say congratulations, Llongyfarchiadau. I've just learned some sign this evening. Congratulations. I'm in there. You know, this is a brand new company. This is Illumine Theatre's first production, and to be doing so well and getting so many amazing reviews so soon, I think it's fab. Just to quote, just, you know, to make you feel good. A challenging and illuminating experience. I propose that this is in the running for the best Welsh new play of 2018. A play that will stay with the audience for far after its end, and a new review today, a morality tale for the Black Mirror generation. Personally, for me, I enjoyed that it was really fresh, really enlightening, challenging as well. And how often do we get to go into the future, you know, and kind of have a kind of take of what's to come, I guess. Lisa Parry, playwright, I should introduce to you. I'm going to start with you, if that's okay.
Yeah,
You're responsible for all of this. I was just really keen to know, you know, as coming from a journalist background, and the mission statement of Illumine Theatre is aiming to reveal stories hidden in plain sight. I was wondering if, you know, your background as a journalist, does that affect your writing? Does that inform your writing? Where did this all start? What goes on in your head?
Yes, to a point. I get really cross if I go to the theatre and something's badly researched, because it pulls me out straight away, and then I don't trust the rest. And honestly, it's awful. I'm like the worst person to see a play in the world, because like one little word and I'm like, that's not right, and then do it. So every single thing in this was meticulously researched. So from that point of view, yes, obviously you cut yourself some creative slack or you drive yourself insane. And theatre can do what journalism can't do. I think with journalism you're tied to a structure. When you're telling a story, and there's a lot of judgments that come on that. Whereas with theatre you're free, and you can actually delve in more deeply and tell a story more deeply, which is why I ended up doing theatre, I think, rather than journalism.
And where did the initial idea come from?
A newspaper. It's awful, it's so cliche. I was at Theatre 503 in the bar reading The Guardian, and there was a nib in the bottom about Yvette Cooper had said something in Parliament about the law change. And I ripped it out and shoved it in my back pocket, and yeah, I couldn't let it alone. And then there were stories kept coming up about it, but there was nothing really on the law change as such. It was just like, oh yeah, this thing's going to happen, and then I honestly couldn't let it go, and I just kept coming back to it and back to it and back to it.
I know I've been quite lucky to read earlier drafts of this play, and it's been on quite a journey.
Yeah.
Do you want to discuss a little bit about that journey and how it's developed?
It's changed a lot, massively, just structurally as well. Like when I first wrote it, I was like, oh, I'm going to see if I can write a 4-act play, because you want to write a 4-act play, and it wasn't a 4-act play. Yeah, the characters have always been fixed though. It's always been the 3 to the 4, so it's always been Chris, John, Mary, Peter, for obvious metaphorical, allegorical reasons. Do you want me to explain?
Anyone apart from you.
This is true. Okay, so you've got Chris, Christ, Mary, John, the disciple Jesus loved, and Peter. And it's kind of like, if you trashed everything, what we take now as a kind of traditional family structure or whatever, if you actually put all of that to one side and rewrote it, what would we have? And I think what we do have is love. And that's what is still there. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to try and just experiment a bit. And I was just playing about with the character names and seeing where it goes. It was kind of quite biblical as well in earlier drafts. And there's bits of that still left in. Like when they have the water in, when she drinks the water, now it's kind of, they have the water and it's a plot device to get them off, and it's nice because you get the 3 and the 2 and all the rest of it. But at one stage in the play there was a lot of blood and the water and the biblical stuff. I mean, it links to the rain now, but there was a bigger flood and stuff, so it's been quite
quite a journey.
Yeah. Zoe Waterman, the director, sat next to Lisa. Hello. You decided to take up some British Sign Language lessons, which is fantastic. And I was just really intrigued to see how things were in the rehearsal room. How is your rehearsal room different within this project to others?
We should talk to Steph about this as well. But it wasn't really. I did like the first half of level 1 BSL in early July, and I'd forgotten virtually all of it apart from the finger spelling alphabet by the time I got to rehearsals. But I always knew that there'd be interpreters, and some of it came back, and I'm emotional to be able to say hi. And I think that was great stuff. So there wouldn't always be a barrier. But we always had 2 interpreters in the rehearsal room, swapping every 15 or 20 minutes between them, because it's really exhausting interpreting. And the first day I asked Steph to do a sort of half-hour deaf awareness, more generally, but especially Steph awareness. But really, I didn't know going into it how different it would be, but I feel like we quite quickly worked out how to communicate well together through the interpreters for the nuance, but also in tea breaks and lunchtimes and things like that, through really crass finger spelling and mime, and Steph's endless patience. The only bit of rehearsals where I went, oh yeah, this does take longer, is right near the end of rehearsals when after a run through we'd sit and do a note session, because Steph can't write down a note and listen to the next one because she needs to look for the next one. So that slightly slows down that process. So it maybe adds 10 minutes to an hour's note session, but that is literally the only bit where it was like, oh, there's a gear change. Apart from that, was we very quickly forgot. To the point where in the play, the bit where Chris says computer off and Mary can't hear him, and the computer goes off and Mary then reacts to the fact the computer's going off, and we rehearsed that for the first time, and Rich said computer off. Of course Steph didn't have a bloody clue who said that, because she's deaf too, and he was standing behind her saying it, and we all sort of sat there and then went, oh, and ran and went, Steph, you turned the computer off, and then we were like a sign in, and we did. So there's a physical gesture that she does at that point that then cues Rich to say that line. And as we went through as well, there's a few bits when people have got longer chunks to say, where we found a physical language that was a bit more set than it would be, I guess, in a play with hearing actors, so that Steph can follow. Because although Mary is a brilliant lip reader, Steph can't lip read. Especially Tom is apparently very difficult to lip read.
Steph, this is your first production, first professional production when you're speaking rather than signing. And I just wanted to know, from your perspective as an actress, what was challenging, but also what was quite enlightening and refreshing for you during this production?
Yeah. For me, I think the biggest challenge was speaking, because I can't hear my voice whatsoever at all, nothing. So I didn't, I don't know what it sounds like, how it sounds, whether I'm doing it right. But that was quite a big challenge. And the lip reading, how do you do it? Because sometimes the conversation goes back and forth really quick, but then other times there's big chunks of talking and I've got to reply to what they're saying, so trying to work it out, I'm trying to pick out the emotions in what they're saying, and so we put in more gestures on certain parts. For example, Richard would scratch his ear at some point, so that I would know then where it's coming up to where I have to reply. So that was interesting, and that was challenging as well. But I think before that, I never really thought about it, the lip reading before that. And then it was like, oh my god, I've got to lip read, I can't do it. How do you do it? Yeah. So I liked that challenge as well, though. It was good, yeah. Jabbering away, if that's okay.
No, that's great.
Before I went to university, training in theatre, in deaf sign, all in sign, everything I was doing in university was signing. How you sound on the stage, how you sound clear. Doing this, I realised I got a voice.
No,
I don't know how to project the voice, so I had to learn a lot of to be able to use my diaphragm. My diaphragm to be able to project my voice, and that's what I've done a lot of learning, really. So that's been interesting for me. So thank you, everybody.
You know what I championed watching the play was, you know, you weren't necessarily seen as a victim, and you got to be quite a sassy character, a strong character, a strong-willed character, and that must have been something that you enjoyed playing.
It's really important. Lots of the times when you see theatre performers, you've got a deaf character and they're very submissive, they're very weak. You know, they pity them, that R factor. But Mary's not like that at all. She's strong-willed. She was happy with her identity. She had her deaf identity, everything, and it was important for a lot of the audience. Really don't see a lot of Mary, really. Hang on, I'm thinking a minute. What I mean is, all different theatres, all different ones, and you've got deaf characters. They haven't got a lot of time to do that, to become. It's important for young deaf people to see deaf role models and strong characters in theatre for the young. That's what I meant. Role models for younger people coming up through.
Lisa, was that always a choice for you?
Not. Well, it's easier to write. I think I'd struggle to write a weak woman. I'd have to think how to do it because it wouldn't be truthful. And if someone can hear, they're strong. If someone can't hear, they've got to face that every day, and they are going to be strong. Like, writing a passive character, why would you do that? I don't understand.
Steph, I have to ask you, how troublesome was working with Tom and Richard?
In deaf culture, we've got sign names.
Oh.
Richard's is that, which is teaser, joker, eating the biscuit, always having a bit of fun, always joking. So that's his sign name. He's a lovely man, though. I think a lot of the times when you meet new people, you know, they see deaf people and you know, not quite sure what to do, but Richard's been brilliant and he's just got on with it and he's tried. Tom, same as well, ever so lovely, feel very welcome within the group. They're both very cheeky, very cheeky, both of them are, but they're lovely. But yeah.
Good, I'm glad. Richard, apart from taking pipettes home and practicing,
yes,
you know, that was a rumour I heard, I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, the whole kind of scientific side, the ethical side, how's that for you? How do you go about preparing that, you know? Well,
it's fairly easily researchable now. You can, I've got hours on iPads of videos of people in labs. The difficulty is, lots of it is you put something in a pipette and you put it in a huge £200,000 machine and you wait until it does something. So it's kind of using it here. We created what is the sterile part of the lab, which exists everywhere. So we kind of could do that. The ethics of it is slightly more awkward because that's up to you as a person, and I think it's very muddied for Chris as a character, because in one way it's kind of honourable that he in no way considers deafness as any kind of hindrance, but his issue comes with not allowing people to know it's coming. That's the truth. That's kind of Steph as Mary has a line in it, you know, it wasn't a problem to be deaf, it was a problem that she was born into a non-deaf culture, hearing family that had no preparation for it or any connection with it. So that then becomes the ethical issue. But I think all the characters are grey areas in it. There's no black and white in this, which I really like. Everybody crosses lines, and we've had lots of people having different reactions. Some people really kind of connect with Tom, some people connect with Steph, and some people connect with me and our stories, because it just depends who you latch on to first, I think, in the storyline. and then you stay with them throughout. So, but nobody's kind of clean at the end of it, which is good.
It needs a bit of that, hand wash thing to disinfect themselves from it all. Tom, did you bake those cakes yourself?
Yes. No, I didn't. I wish I had, because they are something to behold.
I'm just wondering if a bakery in Cardiff would ban making those kind of cakes.
Oh.
I don't know.
It actually took a really long time to master the cake, didn't it? We had a lot of prototypes.
We did.
We all had a go as well.
Why not? No, Tom, and I know I've been following, there's some great online resources following this play, and if you hadn't seen it before, I do urge you to go back and have a look. There's great interviews and videos and blogs, and it's been fab. And Tom, you spoke about the gay relationship in this, and sorry if I'm repeating it again, but it's so nice to see a solid, homosexual relationship.
Yeah.
But it's not an LGBT story.
No.
However, how often do we get these kind of
Yeah,
characters?
it was
in these
really interesting.
theatre?
We got into week 2, and Zoe and Lisa had been writing their blurb for the play, and there was no mention of the fact that it was a gay couple, which was really refreshing, because you're like, it's not important that it's a gay couple. I think, and I might be wrong, but it just made sense, because a couple who would have to go down this road to have a child, you're limited with the options. It could be a heterosexual couple where they have problems, but then there's other things come up within that, or by choosing a gay couple, it's just one of their only options between adopting and using this, really. So it wasn't a conscious decision to make it about a gay couple, I don't think, to the point where they didn't mention it. And in week 2 I was like, maybe we should mention that it's about a gay couple, because there might be some LGBT people out there who would like to see this and would enjoy seeing a gay couple having children. It's an interesting story, it's something that they could relate to. And these two were like, yeah, hadn't thought of that.
You were like, we should mention it's an LGBT play. And I was like, is it?
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
But it's because it's a part of the play, but it's not about that at all, which is really, really nice. And
it's good not to kind of,
absolutely,
label things, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's just a couple trying to have a child, really, and it's refreshing, because it's rare. I think it's quite rare to have a gay couple, and that's not the focus of the story.
But I find it interesting, things that we're kind of in shock that still happens in 2018. We're actually set in 2023 here, and the woman tutting in the waiting room, for instance, Brexit and the after effects of Brexit, the racism. God forbid we don't know what's ahead of us, and being set in the future, I thought was really, really refreshing, and something you don't get to do too often unless you're watching Doctor Who. I'm going to stop talking now. I'd like to throw the questions out to you guys, so please do get involved. Anyone burning in their seats, wanting to ask something in particular?
I don't really want to ask something, but I just wanted to say that I thought you were all super convincing in your roles. And I think that acting with your different responsibilities to support a deaf actress, and the way that you made it work, it came across so naturally. I mean, you were 100% convincing, and it was just fantastic, I thought.
Thank you.
Really lovely. And please feel free, it doesn't have to be a question, it could be a comment, or
You just
any
compliment us
response.
with That's fine too. You did that.
No. Oh yeah.
One of the things that I hadn't thought about before we started rehearsals about working with a deaf actor is that Steph's character has to say a line of Polish in the play. And Lisa had got her mate who knew someone Polish to record it for us. And then I was in rehearsal with this recording, and then I was like, oh yeah, you can't hear the recording. And most of it, we break it down by syllables of English words. But there's the sound "j" in it, and then we were spending ages trying to work out it's a bit like "j," but it's not, and trying to work out how to describe it. And Steph was feeling our necks in front of our mouths while we said it. And then eventually I think
Feeling,
Liz,
not strangling.
eventually I think Liz was like, it's like shaving, and then we got it. But it was like this random thing I hadn't thought about how words do. So we got it.
It was lovely as well. You know, you had the line of Polish, but also naturally the Welsh weaving in as well. And I know, Lisa, you've written an article for Nation Cymru. Would you like to explain a little bit more?
Basically, Bran kicked my ass about that.
That's not. I haven't planned for you to say that at all.
You did, and you were right to. In the play, John was always. I'd always got in my head he was from Cardiff, and it was interesting when we were casting as well. And I was like, "Oh, he's from Cardiff, you know. Might need to speak some Welsh." And so I was like, "That's fine. We can learn Welsh. I'm learning Welsh." And I was like, "It's easy. Yeah, it'll be fun." Yeah, and then he got the kids, and it was weird because I'd got Mary was Polish, and there was just that song was always in it to a point because there's a line in it about it's only a leaf tapping the door, don't be afraid, and I wanted that to foreshadow the door knock, which I'm not sure if anyone gets other than me, but I really liked that, and it's kind of like a bit, it's more of a, not everybody knows that song, and I just really wanted it in, and I wanted it to reflect Cardiff, and then I've got kids who are bilingual, and it's just got to be truthful to the city where it's there, and people don't just walk around speaking English, and the second you have kids, you know, Welsh comes in, and even if they're at English language school, Welsh comes in. It comes in as more of a chore, but it comes in, and it was just like, actually, he would switch, he would be speaking Welsh to that baby, and I quite like the fact that it gave John and Mary a connection, that she had got Polish from her dad, and that John kind of understood that, and that actually the two of them, even though they're at loggerheads at various bits in the play, there's quite a lot in there where John's the one who gets Mary, I think. He's the one who lost his dad, they both love Chris, they've got this sort of bilingualism that connects them together, and I think on some level they understand each other better in a way than Chris and Mary do. But yeah, I wanted it to be set in Cardiff, and I couldn't keep it out. And I'm so glad I'm learning Welsh because I've been absolutely screwed. Really.
Anyone else want to join in?
First of all, I want to say a big congratulations to all of you. I came to see the show on Monday and I really enjoyed it then. And I've come back again tonight to see the show again tonight and I've really enjoyed it again, so thank you. Like I said, it's a big well done, thank you.
Yes, well thank you very much. If you've enjoyed yourself this evening, please tweet, share the love, because this performance will be on again tomorrow, and then a matinee on Saturday. What time's the matinee? 2:30, and also a Saturday night, the final show at 7:30. So thank you ever so much for coming this evening, and thanks for staying, and we're really glad that, you know, Illumine can take on board that they've created something that's been enjoyed. Thank you.